Perfectionism is not high standards. Not at the root. High standards help you build. Perfectionism keeps you hidden. It says, I will begin when I cannot be criticized. I will share when there is no flaw left. I will rest when everything is controlled. It can look disciplined, elegant, impressive. But underneath, the polish is often terror. The terror of being seen and found wanting. The terror that one visible imperfection will confirm the shame you have been trying to outrun. By the end of this video, you will understand how perfectionism forms, why it often gets praised, and how it secretly protects you from exposure. You will learn the difference between devotion and fear-based polish. You will see why perfectionism can sabotage the very life it claims to improve. And you will get a practice for letting something be real before it is flawless. Imagine you are working on something that matters. A project, a message, a piece of art, a conversation. You care about it, so you keep refining. One more edit. One more adjustment. One more delay. You tell yourself you are being responsible. But days pass. Maybe weeks. The thing never leaves your hands. Or if it does, you cannot feel satisfaction. You only see what could have been better. Compliments slide off. Small criticism becomes evidence. Your nervous system treats imperfection like danger. At some point, quality stopped being the goal. Protection became the goal. Perfectionism often begins when approval depends on performance. Maybe you were praised for achievement more than presence. Maybe mistakes were mocked. Maybe chaos around you made control feel like safety. Maybe being excellent was the one way to be noticed, or the one way to avoid being attacked. So a protective part formed. It said, if we are flawless, they cannot hurt us. If we are impressive, they cannot reject us. If every detail is controlled, nothing humiliating can happen. The strategy may have worked for a while. It may have made you capable, careful, reliable. But later, it becomes a cage. You cannot experiment because experiments are messy. You cannot learn publicly because learning requires not knowing. You cannot receive love because love feels suspicious unless you have earned it through excellence. Perfectionism also creates a false self. A polished version who knows what to say, how to look, how to perform competence. The polished self may be admired. But admiration is not the same as intimacy. People can applaud the mask and still never meet you. The hidden cost is vitality. Real life moves. It risks. It tries. It stumbles. Perfectionism freezes the living self into a display case and calls the glass protection. Here is the twist. Perfectionism does not only fear failure. It often fears success too, because success makes you visible. If you stay preparing, no one can fully judge the work. If you stay almost ready, you can preserve the fantasy of what it might become. But once you release it, reality enters. People may respond. They may ignore it. They may misunderstand. They may want more. Visibility means contact, and contact cannot be controlled. That is why perfectionism loves the threshold. It keeps you near the doorway, but not through it. Integration begins by asking, what is this polish protecting me from? Be specific. Is it criticism? Being ordinary? Looking foolish? Disappointing someone? Discovering that effort does not guarantee love. The practice is deliberate imperfection in a clean container. Choose one low-stakes place to let something be good enough. Send the message without rewriting it 5 times. Share a draft with someone safe. Wear the thing without adjusting every detail. Complete the task at 85% and notice that the world does not end. This is not about becoming careless. It is about teaching your nervous system that imperfection is not annihilation. Excellence can remain. Devotion can remain. But fear no longer gets to hold the keys. For today, choose one unfinished thing you are using to hide. Ask what would be the smallest honest release. Not the grand launch. Not the perfect reveal. The smallest honest release. Then do that. The point is not to prove you are fearless. The point is to build tolerance for being real. There is also grief inside perfectionism. The grief of all the things you did not try because you could not guarantee success. The friendships you did not pursue because you could not be effortlessly charming. The work you did not share because someone might see the draft marks. The rest you did not take because your worth was still on probation. Perfectionism steals time by pretending to protect quality. It convinces you that the delay is noble. But many times, the delay is not devotion. It is fear asking for one more disguise. One more course. One more edit. One more plan. One more season of preparation before you risk contact with reality. Ask yourself what your perfectionism has cost you, not as an attack, but as a wake-up call. Has it cost joy? Practice. Visibility. Intimacy. Momentum. Has it made you impressive but tired? Admired but unknown? Excellent but untouched by your own life? The medicine is not sloppiness. It is participation. Let the living self enter the arena while still learning. Let progress be witnessed. Let feedback be information instead of a verdict. A life cannot be revised forever before it is lived. You can also ask, who benefits from your perfectionism? Sometimes the answer is no one. Sometimes it quietly serves people who prefer you polished, compliant, overprepared, and too afraid to disappoint. If being imperfect would make you harder to control, then perfectionism is not only personal. It is relational. Releasing it may change what others expect from you. Let that happen. A more human you may inconvenience people who are attached to the performance. Perfectionism is fear in a beautiful mask. It may have protected you from criticism, chaos, or shame. But it may also be protecting you from the life you keep saying you want. The polished self can be admired, but the living self needs room to move. You do not have to destroy your standards. You have to free them from terror. Let the work breathe. Let the self be seen while still becoming. Let a mistake be information instead of a public execution. In the next episode, we go into avoidance, why leaving first, disappearing, or staying emotionally unreachable can feel like safety. Subscribe so you do not miss it. And today, let one small thing be real before it is perfect.